This was me testing you. Yes, this very season you questioned. This silence you feared. This delay you almost gave up in. It was me testing you. You clicked on this because something inside you sensed there was more to your struggle than random pain, and you are right to feel that tension. You have wondered, was God distant? Did I do something wrong? Why did heaven feel quiet? I am the one who formed you, who has watched every hidden tear and heard every unspoken prayer, so you can trust what I am about to reveal. Stay with me, because I am going to uncover why the silence happened, what I was examining in you, and how this test was shaping a strength you did not know you possessed. When you felt nothing, when your prayers seemed to echo back without response, when the reassurance you once felt grew faint, you assumed my absence. But I was closer than ever. I withdrew the feeling of my presence, not my presence itself. There is a difference, and you are beginning to understand it now. If I had answered immediately, you would have trusted the answer more than me. If I had intervened instantly, you would have leaned on the miracle instead of deepening your faith. So I allowed the quiet. I watched what your heart would do without visible evidence. Would you still speak to me when you felt unheard? Would you still obey when no immediate reward followed? Would you still choose integrity when no one applauded you? The silence became the classroom, and your faith became the subject under examination. I was not measuring your perfection. I was observing your persistence. I was not looking for flawless belief. I was watching for returning trust. Every time you whispered, "I still believe," even when doubt brushed against your mind, you passed another unseen test. You thought the battle was about external circumstances, but I was looking inward, at the roots beneath your behavior. You see now. Feelings are fragile, but faith is forged. I needed to know that your relationship with me was not built on emotional highs alone. Anyone can praise when prayers are answered quickly. Anyone can worship when doors open effortlessly. But when the room is quiet and the outcome uncertain, that is when your devotion becomes real. That is when your heart reveals its true anchor. And even when you stumbled, even when frustration escaped your lips, I did not disqualify you. Tests are not given to destroy you. They are given to develop you. I allowed moments where you felt stretched because stretching increases capacity. I allowed moments of uncertainty because uncertainty forces deeper dependence. I was examining whether you would chase signs or seek my heart. And in ways you may not yet fully see, you chose me more often than you realize. The very fact that you are still listening, still searching, still wanting understanding proves something within you endured the pressure. The silence was not abandonment, it was alignment. It was me strengthening the part of you that does not rely on visible reassurance. And as this understanding settles into you, you begin to recognize that what felt like distance was actually deliberate design, because I was preparing to reveal what the delay itself was uncovering inside you. The waiting you resented was the mirror you needed. When the doors did not open, when the answer did not arrive, when the timeline stretched beyond what you thought was fair, you assumed something had gone wrong. But nothing was wrong. I was not late. I was not distracted. I was revealing. Delay has a way of exposing what comfort keeps hidden. When everything moves quickly, you rarely examine your motives. When blessings come easily, you seldom confront your fears. But when time stretches and uncertainty lingers, what lies inside you begins to rise to the surface. I allowed the waiting to continue because I wanted you to see yourself clearly, not the version you present to others, but the version that wrestles in private. In the delay, impatience tried to speak. In the delay, doubt tried to whisper. In the delay, old insecurities attempted to return. And yet, in the same waiting, endurance grew quietly. Character strengthened without applause. Maturity began forming beneath the frustration. You thought you were just waiting for a breakthrough, but I was watching a transformation. You prayed for the blessing, but I was building the vessel that could carry it. If I had given you what you asked for too soon, the weight of it might have overwhelmed you. If I had accelerated the process, the depth required to sustain it would not have been there. So I let time do its sacred work, Every day you continued despite not understanding. You were becoming steadier. Every moment you resisted the urge to quit. You were becoming stronger. You thought the delay was empty space, but it was filled with invisible construction. I was refining your reactions, reshaping your expectations, recalibrating your dependence. The waiting revealed where you still sought control. It revealed where fear still tried to govern your decisions. But it also revealed resilience you did not know you possessed. You began to pray differently. You began to surrender more honestly. You began to trust more deeply, not because you felt secure, but because you chose to believe I was working beyond what you could see. That choice mattered more than you realized. The delay was not a punishment, it was purification. It separated desperation from devotion. It distinguished emotional faith from anchored faith. And as you endured the stretching, something within you stabilized. You became less shaken by circumstances and more grounded in trust. You started to understand that timing is not cruelty, it is wisdom. I was not keeping you from something good. I was keeping you for something greater. And now, as you look back, you begin to see that the real test was never about the outcome you were chasing. It was about the condition of the heart that would eventually receive it. The breakthrough was never the exam, your heart was. You thought the test would end once the answer arrived, once the door opened, once the visible sign appeared. But the true measure was not whether you received the blessing, it was who you were becoming while waiting for it. I was never trying to see if you could earn my favor. My love was never in question. What I was shaping was your alignment. Blessings without alignment create imbalance. Promotion without preparation creates instability. Influence without integrity creates collapse. So I examined your heart. Would you remain faithful without recognition? Would you choose obedience when it felt unnoticed? Would you guard your character when shortcuts looked easier? These were the real questions beneath the silence and the delay. And even when you stumbled, even when frustration slipped through your words, you kept returning. That return, the decision to come back, to pray again, to hope again, revealed something powerful. It showed that your faith was not dependent on constant reassurance. It showed that your relationship with me was deeper than circumstances. You see, the outcome you desired was already known to me. I am not surprised by endings. I see beyond timelines. But I needed you to grow into the version of yourself capable of sustaining what was ahead. The test was not to expose weakness so I could reject you. It was to strengthen you so you could stand. The struggles anchored you. The waiting matured you. The silence stabilized you. And now when blessings come, they will not control you. When doors open, they will not define you. When favor increases, it will not inflate you. Because something inside you has been steadied. You no longer seek miracles to validate your worth. You no longer interpret silence as abandonment. You understand now that development often feels like distance. And this awareness changes everything. The same season that once confused you now appears purposeful. The same challenges that once discouraged you now look instructional. You are not the same person who first entered that waiting period. Your perspective has widened. Your patience has deepened. Your dependence has matured. That was the true victory. Not the external change, but the internal shift. And as you step forward from here, you carry a confidence not rooted in quick answers, but in cultivated trust. This was me testing you, not to push you away, but to draw you closer, to anchor you deeper, and to prepare you for what is still unfolding. Amen.